Good morning and welcome to the program Integrity Watch. Integrity Watch is a 1 hour radio program brought to you by the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. It is aired every Wednesday on Truth 96.1 FM and is repeated on Sunday from 9 to 10 p.m. So it runs from 11 to 12 noon. So Integrity Watch radio program is the primary radio-based communication information dissemination platform of Central. It is a key advocacy tool that provides essential information around the state of the fight against corruption, national integrity building efforts, as well as promotes the culture of accountability, transparency, integrity, and evidence-based decision-making across all sectors of Liberia. Under Center's National Integrity Building and Anti-Corruption Program, funded by the government and people of Sweden through the Swedish International Development Cooperation Agency, or SIDA, the radio program serves as an engagement, coordination, and advocacy platform that rallies citizens and other stakeholders' support for the fight against corruption and bad governance in Liberia. As part of this program, Center has established the Advocacy and Legal Advice Center known as ALAC. The ALAC is an independent platform that enables citizens to freely report and seek redress to corruption and other integrity-related issues. There are a team of professionals, including lawyers at ALAC, who are waiting and ready to respond to whatever complaint you may file. We encourage our citizens to take advantage of this process, and there are means through which you can report. We have the email address. The email address to report issues about corruption and integrity related to our ALAC is alac@cental.org.lr. It's alac@cental.org.lr. We have the Facebook address is cental@alac, CENTALALAC, all in uppercase. We have hotline number. The hotline number, both Orange and Lone Star GSM can call. It's free of charge. So you can call the number to report issues about corruption. 4432, that's the short code number you can call to report corruption. 4432. If you are using Orange and Lone Star or Lone Star GSM, you can call the number. It's free of charge. We have walk-in services. If you need access to information, rather, you can visit our offices opposite the John F. Kennedy Medical Center in Sincor. You can come upstairs, the building just opposite GFK, come upstairs and meet our Advocacy and Legal Advice Center team to be able to have access to information. If you want to have access to information, we can assist you in the process. You need legal advice, we can assist you in the process. We also have partnership with the LACC to announce and make its numbers available to the public so that they can report issues about corruption. We must fight corruption and we must do it together. So that is the reason why we forge partnership with the LACC and other integrity institutions so that we can jointly fight corruption in Liberia. We believe that the fight against corruption must be from the basis of knowledge. So on the basis of that, we want to increase citizens' awareness about what corruption is, and they can identify corruption and be able to report acts of corruption. So the numbers to contact the LACC: 0555 395 728, 0555 395 728, or 4048. You can also call the Orange number 0776 6000 50, 0776 6000 50. The Integrity Watch radio program is very civil and informative with zero tolerance on the use of invectives and other denigrating comments on this platform. Today is February 2nd, 2022, and this edition of the program is going to be playing host to Mr. Joshua Dennis Cleon. He's a program officer at NAYMOTE Partner for Democratic Development. And NAYMOTE recently released a report on President Weah's 4 years in office performance. 4 years performance in office from January 2018 to January 2022. So the report was released, and Mr. Cleon is going to come so that we can talk about its findings. So whilst we await our guests, let's go to the next segments of our program. We begin with little things that matter. We want to greet His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Liberia this morning and say good morning to you, Your Excellency, Mr. President Dr. George Weah, and the peace-loving people of Liberia. Good morning. Your Excellency, we trust and hope that you are doing well this morning as you focus on on steering the affairs of our beloved country, Liberia. However, Your Excellency, we want to express few concerns about your re, reiteration of or reiterations of your commitment to the fight against corruption and re-emphasizing this over and over and again. We want to express few concerns. We want to find out about the outcome. You have been so mute about this, Your Excellency. You have not spoken about it at all. In all of your public interactions, you have never spoken about this. We want to know the outcome of the investigation that you initiated. You asked for the investigation. Have you found out from your legal advisor how far has the investigation gone? Do you care to let the public know about what's happening with that investigation involving the coordinator of special project in your office, Your Excellency? Madam McKinney Keita was accused of soliciting bribe from investor. And that matter was you asked your legal office, your legal advisor to investigate. As we stand, Your Excellency, you have not made one comment on that matter. What's happening? Do you care to inform the public about what really transpired? Can you allow, because it seems that this matter is being covered, because everyone is conceiving the information somehow. Everywhere you go, they turn you to the other way. You go to the other side, they turn you this way. They go to the next place, they turn you to the other side. It seems the matter has been killed. Maybe it died on arrival. So the cup has been buried, apparently. So everyone is tight-lipped. Nobody to speak to this matter. Your Excellency, what's happening? This matter involves your office. And if matters of such regarding corruption involving member of your office, it should be of grave concern to you, Your Excellency. You should take concrete action so that we know that you are committed to the fight against corruption. You cannot say you are committed to the fight against corruption all of the time through your utterances without us seeing your actions. We have said this over and over, Your Excellency. We have appealed to you as we enter 2022. We are no longer interested in theoretical commitments. What we want to see is genuine actions to the fight against corruption. And one would be to tell the public what has happened to this investigation, Your Excellency. Where are we on this matter? COVID-19 stimulus package. Where are we on the outcome of that investigation? The matter was submitted to you. What have you decided to do with it? I mean, there are a lot of investigative reports that are on your decks, but we are concerned mainly about this because it has it tints the image of our presidency. So we are very concerned about this because we are concerned that investors are not pouring in the country. We want to know why are they not coming. If these are some of the reasons why investors are not coming, Your Excellency, we need to tackle it and tackle it head on. If these are some of the reasons why investors are not coming in the country, we just hear about them and they don't come into the country to invest in the country, we need to tackle it head on. We should not do pick and choose in the fight against corruption. It should never happen, Your Excellency. Let's make sure that this matter is investigated and the investigative report investigative report rather is made public so that the public can understand what went wrong. If she's exonerated, let it be made known. But we cannot sweep this under the carpet as usual. All investigative reports, especially regarding corruption matter, are swept under the carpets over the time. Your Excellency, we hope this is not going to be the case. Thank you ever so much. The next segment, we talk to our lawmakers. We want to ask the lawmakers to kindly ensure that they all join the fight against corruption. By joining the fight, it means that they can act on anti-graft legislations that are before them, so that they can enact them as soon as possible for us to be able to empower the LACC with the tool they require to execute their mandates. And not only the LACC, but the fight against corruption in Liberia. So by that, we will ask you, members of the legislature, to kindly, especially the Senate, to kindly act on the whistleblower and other anti-graft laws that were sent, or bills that were sent to you for passage. Kindly act as speedily as possible. These are things that you will do that we will realize that you are actually in the interest of the people, quote unquote, in the interest of the people, because we've heard this over time or times without number that you are said you are working in the interest of the people, but some of your actions and inaction will not say that you are actually in the interest of the people. We plead with you to kindly do the needful with these laws that are before you so that we can, know that we are committed to the fight against corruption. So the fight against corruption, it requires all of us, that we have said, including you, members of the legislature. You have to act and act, in a way that shows that you are accountable to the people, that you mean well for the people, and you mean, you take the issue about transparency and accountability very seriously. So by that, you will act and make sure that you pass these laws so that we can help the fight against corruption. The next segment is elections in you. So we have said it that we're going to be educating the public about different elections law, code of conduct, and different things that you should know regarding the electoral process or electoral processes in Liberia. So today we started with Article 1 of the Constitution of Liberia. So Article 1 of the Constitution, which we said to you, it gives you the power to elect people, to elect governments, and you can alter the government when so desired through regular elections. So you can alter you can change government only the legal way through elections. So that's the power you have. You can make and break government. Breaking means you can take the government out and put people who you trust to work in your interest. So that's the power you have. So today we are looking at the code of conduct for NEC personnel. So we are looking at the code of conduct for NEC personnel. We want to begin with this. Now that you already know the power that you have and what gives you that power, which is the Constitution of Liberia. There is a body responsible for electoral processes in Liberia. So that body is the National Elections Commission. So the National Elections Commission is guided by a code of conduct. They have a code of conduct that guides the process or guide all of the staff that are working with the National Elections Commission. So today we are looking at Section 3 of the Code of Conduct for personnel of the National Elections Commission. So Section 3.1, it says the Code of Conduct applies to all employees of the National Elections Commission, hereafter referred to as the Commission. Every employee of the Commission shall be committed to and comply with this code of conduct while he or she is at his or her working place or is carrying out his or her duties. The condition of employment shall also include this code of conduct. Section 3.2, it says every employee of the commission shall refrain from improper use of unauthorized release of information obtained in the course of his or her official duty with the commission. 3.3, the commission, by its constitutional mandate, shall ensure that all processes of elections of public offices rather, including the executive, the legislative branches, as well as chieftaincies and referenda, are conducted in a free, fair, and transparent manner. 3.4, the Commission shall conduct elections in accordance with the United Nations and other international acceptable standards. Thus, when conducting these elections, personnel of the Commission shall not, in any form or manner, be corrupted, unduly influenced, bribed, or controlled by any outside authority. Section 3.5, the Commission recognizes its pledge to deliver free, fair, and transparent elections and enlists the support of all stakeholders in Liberia, as well as members of the international community to assist in the achievement of its goal. In furtherance of this mandate, employees of the commission shall be committed at all times to act within his or her authority to condemn and prevent any violation, coercion, and intimidation related to elections. B, employees of the commission shall not be biased and shall not do anything by way of action, attitude, or speech which indicates a bias or preference for any political party, candidate, or party representative in the implementation of his or her duties. Employees of the commission shall at all times embrace a culture of fairness, neutrality, independence, and non-partisanship in its dealings with any registered political party or candidate, and subsequently will not act in any way that demonstrates partisan support for a candidate, political party, political actors, or political tendency. Employees of the commission shall create a friendly environment for representatives and agents of registered political parties and candidates through the facilitation of ready access to the offices and relevant documents of the commission. So we are still awaiting our guests, so we can just go further. So we have employees of the commission shall conduct itself at all times in the manner necessary. Okay, yeah, at all times in an appropriate manner, exercise sound judgment, observe the highest level of personal discretion, and ensure that all the employees of the commission apply standard professionalism and integrity in their works. Employees of the commission shall, pursuant to Article 18 of the Liberian Constitution, provide equal opportunity for work and employment regardless of sex, creed, religion, ethnic background, place of origin, or political affiliation, and all of the commission employees shall be entitled to equal pay for equal work. Employees of the commission shall make reasonable attempts to ensure that its members and staff avoid any situation that may lead to conflict of interest or that is incompatible with the status of personnel of the commission. This is one of the reasons why we will come back to this. We'll come back to G. So we'll come back to G so that we can talk about G and another part there where it says the no employees of the commission to be conflicted or corrupted. So we'll come back to that. So that G and another segment. So it says employees of the commission shall extend the participation and access of stakeholders in the relevant processes of election, organization, or an equitable basis consistent with the law. Employees of the commission shall uphold its integrity and the integrity of the electoral process and actively encourage all stakeholders to do likewise. Employees of the commission shall pay particular attention to the smooth and positive working relationship with each registered political party and candidates on the basis of equitable treatment for all consistent with the law. Employees of the commission shall establish positive working relationship with civil society organization, community-based organization, and relevant donor agencies through ready shall I think something happened here. Shall establish positive working relationship with civil society organizations, and through ready access and timely communication of relevant information on a non-discriminatory basis, and shall extend fair and non-discriminatory access to media houses and, where feasible, offer assistance in election and referendum awareness program on an equitable basis consistent with law in an effort to keep the public informed about the commission's undertakings. So these are part provision of part 3 of the Code of Conduct for personnel of the NEC. So part 3 of the Code of Conduct for personnel of the NEC, these are some of the provisions that we just read to you. But we want to re-emphasize on a few things so that we state why we have been asking the president to act swiftly in the issue about the allegation of code of conduct, conflict of interest rather, involving the chair of the National Elections Commission. So this section, part 3, section 3 rather, G, it says employees of the commission, including the chair, the co-chair, the commissioners, and all employees of the National Elections Commission shall make reasonable attempt to ensure that its members and staff avoid any situation that may lead to conflict of interest or that is incompatible with their status as personnel of the commission. So the allegation of conflict of interest involving the chair of the National Elections Commission is the president and all those who are concerned. It's very important that we investigate this and make the public informed about the outcome of it. The law, the code of conduct for the elections body, it says none of its employees should demonstrate or should show any sign of conflict of interest in the discharge of their duties. So we must ensure that, Mr. President, that this matter involving the chair of the National Elections Commission is thoroughly investigated and the outcome made public so that people can gain trust in the elections body. Because there are laws and codes or policies that are guarding those who are working at the Elections Commission. So if they must conduct elections, they should respect the law that govern that body. So they should respect the law that govern that body. So that's that. That's what we wanted to talk about. Those are things we wanted to talk about. We will now take a break. When we come back, we will go straight over to the program. Let's take a technical. In there, and thanks for rejoining us. The program you are listening to is called Integrity Watch. It's a 1 hour radio program brought to you by the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. It is aired every Wednesday on Truth 96.1 FM. It runs from 11 to 12 noon. It is repeated on Sunday from 9 to 10 p.m. So today we are having as our guests members, team from NEMO Partner for Democratic Development. So we have in studio today Bako Shahibu. Bako Shahibu is program coordinator at NEMO, and Dennis Cleon is program officer at NEMO Partner for Democratic Development. Like we said, NEMO recently released a report on President George Manuel Weah's 4 years performance in office. So we've come today to talk about the findings of that report. What are the things that were captured in the report? Were the methodologies and all of those things? And we'll begin with the introduction of welcoming the guest in studio. Mr. Shahibu, welcome to studio.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, that's right.
Thank you so much for having us on the program.
Yeah, okay. Shahibu, I think your second time.
Yes.
And Joshua, your second time too. Third.
Yeah, I've been here before.
I mean, on this platform.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So welcome so much. Welcome to studio, and it's good to have you. It's good to have you here in studio today. So the program is Integrated Watch. Like we said, let's begin with the program coordinator, Mr. Shahibu, is going to lay the basis, or who's going to lay the basis. Let's begin with how is NEMO Partner for Democratic Development? How is the organization doing? Anybody can pick up. Let's begin
Yeah.
with, oh, this part from here and come this way, or you want to start from here and go that way?
Okay,
Anyway,
great,
it's okay.
great. So,
I don't know what to do.
Okay.
Nemo is doing great, and we're working on a couple of projects for the year coming.
Okay.
Since we released a report, we are happy that stakeholders are accepting the findings. People from across the spectrum, including opposition and people who are in government. So it's a good thing that leaders of this country understand that there's an institution that's tracking the work they will be doing or the work they are doing. And we are looking forward to what next will come after the 4 year, or maybe say the 5 year or the 6 year. We're looking for what next to come. But going towards the elections, we're also going to be looking at the different candidates in the process and how we get their promises and collate them into something we can be able to track after the election too.
Okay, so you mean candidates who are going to be vying for different positions, you're going to follow their promises that you've been making to the people,
Oh yeah,
and then you
and this
can track
is
just as you did with the president's
oh yeah,
parameter.
oh yeah, and this is something Nemo have done before.
Okay.
It's not it's not a strange thing. It's something we've done even before this president meetup project came into existence. We already had a promise of all the different candidates that contested the 2017 elections.
Okay.
So we're gonna do the same for 2023. So it's gonna begin this year going to 2023.
Yeah,
Yes, and
I want to ask a question on that. Since you started it before, and some of the people who you were tracking, they won the elections and they are in power now. How do you keep them reminded about those promises they made?
We do it through the president meetup project. That's what I'm saying. So the president meetup project is not just related to George President Weah, rather. It's not just related to him. It was going to take shift even when just Ambassador Joseph Bako was going to win. It was going to be his meetup. Even if Cummins was going to win, it was going to be his meetup. Even if Councillor Bronson was going to win, it's going to be his meetup. So that's why the project is funded. That's what the project is about.
Okay, yeah.
and it was actually shocking to know that as an institution
Mhm.
doing a political campaign, we did all we could and did all we intended doing in our own weak way to access all of the leading political parties' manifesto.
Manifesto.
You know, a lot of people, especially Liberians, think that all of the different political parties did not have a manifesto during
Yeah.
campaign period.
Okay.
But we have, up to present, we still have all of these political parties manifesto, especially leading parties.
Mm-hmm.
And our thinking was that whoever is sent to power, we're going to use your manifesto as a tool to begin with. And that's how we started over with the CDC led
Okay.
government.
So the question I'm asking is, for instance, there are different candidates who usually contest different positions, maybe senators, representatives. I thought that's what you were talking about for all of those candidates.
No. I was limiting it to the
To the
presidency. I
presidency.
was limiting it
Oh,
to the
okay.
presidency.
Okay, let's go to you, Joshua. Maybe let's go because the public will firstly want to know what methodology was used so that they can understand it, and then that will be the basis for the other questions that will come for the findings. What were the methodologies employed?
So, as an institution, there are several different methodologies used to be able to monitor, track, and document all of these promises that we have captured so far. So, as an institution, the first thing we did was that we considered our first means of monitoring and tracking as extraction. So, firstly, got hold of the CC Party Manifesto, which was the 2017 manifesto, and we extracted the amount of 65 premises from there. And all of these 65 premises were infused within the press media report. Not just that, but as an institution, we also did media monitoring of the leading radio stations like ECOWAS Radio, Truth FM, ELBC, and the Sky TV. All of these leading radio stations, we monitor the current president and his, in his government, especially government officials who are in hierarchy, like the ministers, the head for, for marks. We actually monitor whenever they are appearing. And not just that, but whenever there's a presidential directive, meaning someone is making a statement on behalf of the president, and that person is an official of government, we hold that as a promise. And not just that, but we also did on-site visitation, or we are doing on-site visitation as part of our methodology, because looking at promises that have been made, we won't just sit a year in Morovia, or won't just sit and just conclude that some of these promises, especially physical projects, are ongoing or they are not written or not started. We will firstly go about, documenting. Afterwards, we do follow up, and the follow up visit is what we call our on-site visitation. You know, move at project site, drive at project site to see see the current status of these premises. And for instance, recently in the Dwazon community, after the president made his county tour, there was a promise that he made in Dwazon, and he said he was going to provide 30 sewing machines to someone within Dwazon Township. We did an on-site visit there, and we saw the 30 machines, and not just that, but he even added by providing baking stoves and also sugar bags and flour. So that's exactly how we are able to conduct our on-site visitation. And even in my Gibi County, there's a town hall that's current project that's currently ongoing, and that promise was made during the president on county tour. We monitored that, and we saw that at the time we monitor, it was firstly, at the foundation level. It was just last week it was there again, and that particular promise, have gone up to window level, and it's going up to roof level. So that's exactly how it's like. Apart from that, across the counties, we have contracts with messages. So we monitor a lot of online platforms. So for instance, we monitor different online media, like OKFM, Facebook page, like there's a good mention Facebook page, like ELBZ, we monitor all of them to ensure that all of those promises that are made are how to capture. And not just that, but all these leading newspapers, agencies, we also monitor them as well.
Okay, because time is not in our
Yeah.
favor, so let's go to the findings and talk.
Yes,
the findings.
it's exactly why I wanted to limited or lack of available information to better assess on progress made towards implementation. So if you look at the rating directly in our full year report, it will tell you that the president need to do more. President and his government need to do more. Need to double up. You also need to reduce, do a lot more around reduction in promises that is making or with
Managing
statements.
public
Yeah,
expectation.
definitely. Because the more you make promises to Liberian people, the more they are going to hold you accountable. And this project is one project that we think and feel that a lot of Liberians are accessing, not just them, but international partners that are accessing to show that.
What would you say is would be if you were asked to grade in terms of percentage wise, even though you have 7%, if you went to class and you were to make 60 for pass and you got 7, in your view, is that a pass? 169, and you've only done how many? 11?
Yeah,
Yes,
11,
11.
only
just
11,
11, just
7%.
11.
I
Yeah.
mean, what is that?
It's not a pass, but on the bright side of it, there's a lot of ongoing promises that the report captured, and if you combine the ongoing along with the completed, you understand that the president and government are making some strides. That's the bright side of it. So we can say, in our opinion, that it's not a pass, but again, the ongoing promises are promises that are just being touched and not being completed. And if more effort and attention is being paid towards those promises and ensuring that some of them are completed, the mark will actually double. That's one thing we can say for free.
From the readings of these information tracked, the promises that were tracked, the one that have been achieved, and all of that, it appears to me like the president just go to places and then when he sees the crowd, he just say, "Let me say something to them, and then I can go."
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, from what I'm reading, from what you have.
oh yeah, and it also appears to us that way because when the president was on his county tour, you know the president is a politician, so on the county tour there were a lot of promises that were just made. I mean, we're able to track 42 different promises alone
There
on
is
that
something.
tour.
There is something. I always try as much as possible. I try to sense from politicians in Liberia when they talk about politics. It appears like politics is only about deception. So when you can deceive people very well, it means that you're a good politician. That's why it appears from from my readings of politicians in Liberia. Is that what the president is a politician? Is that why the context that you are speaking?
No, I'm not speaking from that context. I'm speaking from the context of publicity announcement. And the president want to make news. So the initial intent of the county tour was to say thank you, because the president got elected 2018. So from 2018 to 2021, the president had not gone back to say thank you. So in my opinion, if that initial intent, if the president was to stick to that intent and just say thank you for the food and blah blah blah, we're working your interest, I believe we would not have tons of promises. But the president used the occasion now to make an announcement and create publicity and make news. So we had no options but to follow
But you have 6 years. In 4 years, you have not done as expected. Do you think we're going to the president, I mean, going to achieve all of the promises, 169, and we expect more to come? Do you think he's going to achieve them
No,
in 2 years?
we can say that for a fact. He's not going to achieve them. He's not going to achieve them. Currently, we're reading through the president's fifth annual message, and there are a couple of promises already coming out from there.
Okay.
So hopefully, before we reach June, July, when the next maybe May year report is coming up or something, the president will maybe be around 180 promises, and we can say that for a fact. When we get to July of this year, it's going to be campaign till next year, October. So the president is going to be campaigning to get re-elected. So the president is not going to be focused on implementing promises. So we can say that for a fact that the president will not complete these promises. Some will be completed. Yes, we can say that, but not all.
Why is true that we meaning civil society organizations, we track these things and we come up with recommendations and present it to the public and state actors. What is apart from that? What else are you going to do to help encourage, maybe speed the process in making sure that some of these promises are, implemented, especially those in the interests of the public? Maybe engagements wise, engaging with people who supposed to be spearheading this, or do you have that as part of your methodology or part of your plans in ensuring that these reports are received?
So we actually do that,
Mm.
but one thing that is one bottleneck that is giving the process some hard time is the issue of availability.
Okay.
So government ministry and agencies and people who are in top positions, or maybe just the regular M&E people, they don't making themselves available, and
Okay.
most of that, the information that's supposed to come out to the public and say, okay, you report on this and you said
Access to
this,
information.
yeah, and these are the findings from what you reported, right? So take for instance, we talk about say the new redemption hospital. If you go there to do assessment, sometimes the engineer will tell you on site that you have to write the minister of health.
Oh yes.
So the only people who are allowed to do assessment is the executive mansion Facebook page. So sometimes you see Smith Toby will do a tour of the facility, and that's when we even get information. So our intent is actually good. We want to help the government to be able to give our information to the public and say, okay, we will put it on this thing we say are ongoing. There's a level at which it is ongoing from our findings and readings. This is the level at which it is. But when you go there, the engineer tells you the place is not accessible to everyone. So you can't be able to report on that. So what you can see is that it's ongoing. This is what from our reading, we don't have access to the information, but we know that it's ongoing.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
and
maybe you want to add something quickly so that we can take a few calls and
yeah, sure.
yeah.
And not just that, but there are other indications that when you write a communication to a government ministry or agency requesting information, that will help to enhance the report. Sometimes it takes forever,
No.
forever to
And
get
they
to
will not
get to
reply.
get yeah to get information. So even reply, it's very challenging. So all we do is that we exert our own effort and ensure that we use all means possible to get access to information to be able to enhance our report. And that has been one thing that we've been doing. And there are times where when people in government give you information or release information, will tell you, look, I don't want my name be mentioned in that
Mm.
report.
Mhm.
For there are a lot of sensitive information that is within these government agencies that we need to get to enhance this report. And I'd like to say that when government ministers or people in government are not giving us this kind of information, honestly speaking, there's no way we can be able to give our more information to the public about what government is doing. But once there's availability of information, it will help the government because this project is not intended in any way to look down the government or in any way to push the government. It's intended to help the government, help the government, and that's why we usually say that this particular project is a project that is so dear to our heart at NAMOTE because we believe that it will help to promote the merit of good governance in our country. It will even help to make government more accountable, accessible, and responsive.
The program you are listening to is called Integrity Watch. It's a 1 hour radio program brought to you by the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. And it's aired every Wednesday on Truth 96.1 FM. And as the repeat of the program comes on Sunday from 9 to 10 p.m. So today we are having team from NAYMOTE Partner for Democratic Development. So we're talking about the recently released report on the performance of President George Weah for 4 years. 6 years in office, 4 years gone, and promises still untouched. The group is saying some of the promises may not be completed in 2 years. So, Your Excellency, interestingly, we find ourselves in the same environment where we go out to access information. It becomes a serious challenge. We went to Bako County, went to the hospital, 100-bedroom hospital that's been built there to have access to that place. They told us the same thing. Write the Ministry of Health, go and write the county authority, and then they give you access pass before you can come and access it. These are things that are happening across the country. And all of these things, civil society organizations, we are all working in the interests of the people of Liberia. We are not enemies to the government. All of these reports are intended to help the government of Liberia to improve on certain aspects. And interestingly, there are some positive things that are in the report that the government can see and be able to build on them. And the negative one, whatever you claim to be negative, you can build on those things and improve your service to the people of Liberia. So we want to now take few calls. Time is not in our favor. We can take few calls and have your participation on the show. The numbers to call 077-0175-162, 0886-474563. And you can call the studio number 0775 373-657, 0775 373-657, 0775 373-657. That's the number to call to be live on the program Integrity Watch, and we are talking about the president's 4 years performance in office. Made promises, 169 promises, 11 completed, others are still in progress, and 7% so far completed. So the team is in studio today, and we are talking about the promises that were made by President Weah. Again, we want to say to those who are serving in different public offices, civil society organizations, the media, the work of the media complement what you do. So if we come around you to ask for information, it is all intended for the good of the people of Liberia, for the good of the country, and to enhance your work as well. So the number to call 0775 373-657, 0775 373-657, or you can call 0886 474563. Those are the numbers to call. And maybe we can just go to pillar 2, which talks about economy and job creation or jobs. So under that, you have 71 promises that were made. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So all of these promises that are infused within the report, what we do was that we have them listed on different pillars.
Okay.
And then on these pillars we have thematic areas, like for instance infrastructure, like for instance economy and jobs. We have them listed. So on pillar 1, power to the people, have different promises. On pillar 2, that I would like to talk about quickly.
Yeah.
We monitor and track a total number of 71 promises. And 5 of these promises were completed, 28 are ongoing, and 38 promises haven't started.
When you say ongoing, meaning
there have been some progress that have been made towards.
Let's be practical.
Yes.
Ongoing work or paperwork. What do you mean by ongoing? Is it the paperwork has started, or feasibility studies are ongoing, or what is ongoing that you mean by ongoing?
So whenever we say ongoing,
it
indicates that there have been actions that have been taken. It's not paperwork.
Okay.
Is definitely actions that have been taken. So there are promises that is infused within a report. Take for instance, promise focus on infrastructure development.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, it will tell you that there have to be different processes in place in order for that promise to be at the status of ongoing.
Okay.
So firstly, probably have to be secure. You have to do foundation, all that. Work has to start. So whenever actions have been taken towards that particular kind of promise, it's ongoing. So there are other. Let me just make mention of another promise. Like take for instance, the government said they will so let me just run to a promise quickly.
Yeah. I is trying to get to the promise.
All right.
Yeah.
So the government said, yeah. So under pillar 2, economy and jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So the government said they will reduce tariff on all basic commodities imported in the country.
Okay.
And this particular promise is ongoing. because there was an executive order issued instructing IRA to review tariffs on commodities imported.
Okay.
And if you look at sources, it will tell you that we did a lot of interviews, conducted with marketeers. There's a newspaper publication, News Public Trust, that was that we accessed on
Okay.
May 30th, 2018.
All right.
So if you look at ongoing, there will definitely be actions
Something
that
concrete
have
action.
been taken.
Okay, let's take your parting comments so that we can turn over because time is not in our favor, like I said.
Okay, so we want to. I want to extend thanks to Centaur and Targeted Wise team for the invite. It's always a good thing and a lovely time to be discussing this report. One thing we know is that for every time the report is released, there's mixed reaction, there's mixed feelings. By the end of the day, is accepted by from both ends, whatever is opposition or even civil society. We also appreciate the fact that people in the civil society space are elevating the discussion around this report so that it can just be us
Sure.
communicating the message, but you're also helping us. So we say kudos to you for that.
Okay.
I want to thank your team for the invite.
Okay. Let's say you just right.
Yeah, so from our end at NAYMOTE, we appreciate the invite and we look forward to more discussions. And we'd like to call on the president and his government to double efforts to ensure that most of these promises are completed. Because promises that are refused in gold, they are more like a social contract that was being made between his government and electorates because electorates voted his party based based on part of manifesto and messages that they were doing campaign.
Okay.
So all of the different promises that he made, he made during campaign, and he's continuing to make after campaign because both pre and post messages
Okay.
and or pre and post policy statements. These
Okay. Double up your effort. Time is not favors the voices. Thanks for this. Cleon and Shahibu, Bako Shahibu they have been our guest in studio today, and they are from the MO partner for Democratic Development. My name is Sam Zota. I'm a media and communication officer. The program is targeted colleagues, Mark Wandao, and the reality one of them. The camera making sure the visibility goes beyond the studio on the targeted. Join us next Wednesday for the edition. Better still, Sunday, 9 to 10 p.m. Thanks so much for having me.